The story begins with Chihiro Furuya, a freak who loves zombies and dreams of having a romantic relationship with one. Chihiro's life was anything but ordinary. He resided with his eccentric family in a quaint temple, where his love for the supernatural grew stronger with each passing day. Chihiro's most treasured companion was a stray cat named Babu. This feline friend had a knack for mischief, making Chihiro's life far more entertaining. One fateful day, tragedy struck when Babu met an unfortunate end after a not-so-graceful encounter with Truck-kun. The loss of his beloved pet left Chihiro heartbroken and unable to move on. Driven by an insatiable desire to reunite with his furry friend, Chihiro stumbled upon an ancient manuscript detailing the secrets of resurrection. Determined to bring Babu back to life, he set up his makeshift laboratory in an abandoned building to conduct his peculiar experiments discreetly. While engrossed in his unusual experiments, Chihiro crossed paths with a mysterious girl who vented her frustrations by screaming into a nearby well. Her vehement disdain for the lack of freedom in her life caught Chihiro's attention and sparked his curiosity. Back at his all-boys high school, Chihiro's friends were fascinated with the girls from the neighboring all-girls high school. One particular object of their affection was the wealthy and enigmatic Sankarea, the girl he had encountered at the well. At home, Chihiro's well-meaning cousin, Wanko, attempted to lift his spirits by inquiring about Ria, with whom they both attended school. Little did Chihiro know that his curiosity about Ria would lead him to unexpected adventures. During one of his experiments, Chihiro overheard Ria returning to the well, where she once again poured her heart out about her troubled family life. Startled by Chihiro's sudden presence, she begged him to keep her secret safe. It became apparent that Chihiro had observed her at the well on previous occasions, creating a unique bond of trust between them. Ria decided to lend a hand in Chihiro's peculiar experiments, with their shared secrets now in the open. She warmed up to the idea that if she became a zombie, Chihiro would take responsibility for and care for her. As they worked together, Ria's curiosity piqued, and she developed an unexpected fascination with zombie movies, having never seen one before. To enhance their resurrection formula, Ria even braved a difficult climb up a cliff to collect a rare plant for Chihiro. Just as she was about to lose her footing, Chihiro came to her rescue. Ria clarified that if anything happened to her, she wanted Chihiro to bring her back as a zombie. Fast forward to their experiments with hydrangea leaves and the resurrection formula, which proved fruitless. Chihiro realized it was time to bid farewell to the idea of reviving Babu and instead give him a proper burial. Chihiro noticed Ria limping as they headed home, so he gently carried her on his back. Unbeknownst to them, Chihiro's father was spying on their peculiar activities with a pair of binoculars. Meanwhile, Wanko couldn't resist teasing Chihiro about the mysterious box he carried. When she finally opened it, a demonic-looking cat leaped out, causing quite a stir. On the other side of town, Ria, feeling desperate, decided to drink the stolen formula herself. To her surprise, the next morning, she awoke with the empty vial in her hand, seemingly unchanged. She continued her daily routine, oblivious to the mysterious effects of the formula. Meanwhile, in Chihiro's household, Wanko and Chihiro's sister found it utterly baffling that a temple priest's offspring would engage in such ludicrous pursuits. But Chihiro couldn't care less, because, believe it or not, his experiment had worked. Babu had transformed into a bona fide zombie, and things were getting weirder by the minute. Over at Ria's place, her mom appeared strangely cheerful as she discreetly observed her daughter sneaking out, while also intercepting her father's attempts to play peeping Tom. Ria successfully reached Chihiro's high school, where she surprised his friends by inquiring about his whereabouts. Their jaws nearly hit the floor as they tried to process why Ria would be hunting down Chihiro, and she casually dropped a bombshell about him heading for castration. As if that weren't enough, Ria's dad was hot on her heels and wasn't chasing butterflies. Simultaneously, Chihiro embarked on an epic chase after the zombified Babu, which led him straight to Ria's residence. And what do you know? He stumbled upon Ria herself up on a hill, which was nothing short of a suspenseful soap opera. Ria's father made a dramatic entrance trying to snatch her, but she swatted his hand away like a boss. Yet her father wasn't giving up that easily, and he made a second attempt. Cue Babu's entrance. Her father, being a germaphobe, decided to trade Babu for Ria, but he accidentally landed a hit on her, causing her to take a tumble. As she lay amidst the hydrangeas, Chihiro and her father were both in a state of utter distress. But then the impossible happened. Ria got up and reminded Chihiro of his promise to take responsibility. Dan Ichiro, now a frantic mess after what seemed like his daughter's demise, tried to cover up the situation by informing the household maids that Ria had run away from home. But Ria's mom barged into the bathroom demanding answers, only to be met with a lifeless Dan Ichiro muttering about how Ria had died and walked away. He then suddenly erupted, blaming Chihiro as the source of all his woes. Meanwhile, Ria was back at Chihiro's, stitching herself up like a pro. She couldn't help but remark on the perks of being impervious to pain. Afterward, the two of them teamed up to give Babu a thorough wash from a nearby tree. Ria claimed she had a special connection with Babu, as if they had their own telepathic hotline. According to her, Babu adored that tree because it was the comfiest spot. Now, Chihiro, being his inquisitive soul, asked Ria about her request for him to take responsibility. Before things got too spicy with a surprise kiss attempt, they were rudely interrupted by an angry Wonka. She was furious that Chihiro had left her in the dust during the chase for Babu, so she decided to dole out some punishment by the riverbed. Just when things were heating up, Yasutaka, a wild card, emerged out of nowhere, begging Chihiro to introduce him to Ria. Later that day, Chihiro returned home only to discover Ria gradually losing her ability to move and speak. It was like she was stuck in a zombie version of Sleeping Beauty, and Chihiro realized he needed to find a way to preserve her body before she turned into a full-fledged skeleton. As the night fell, he tossed and turned, unable to sleep, his mind racing with thoughts of thwarting rigor mortis. Come morning, Chihiro decided to visit his sister, Miro, in hopes of borrowing an embalming book. Unfortunately, Miro had already loaned it to another classmate. Back in his room, Chihiro faced the daunting task of hiding Ria from his family while dealing with the impending stench of decay. Over at the temple, as Chihiro begrudgingly helped with the chores, his father couldn't resist poking fun, asking if he was planning to adopt yet another cat. Chihiro's response? Babu had made an astonishing comeback from the dead. Of course, his dad found this claim utterly preposterous, but his grandpa, always up for some supernatural excitement, believed in the resurrection pill's untapped potential. Chihiro was about to interrogate his grandpa for more information when his dad ordered him back to cleaning duty. As if that weren't enough, Miro grew suspicious when Chihiro came up with flimsy excuses about his room. Later on, Wonko, the bearer of all the town's latest gossip, she can't resist discussing the juicy rumors about Ria's supposed runaway act. Wonko casually inquires if Chihiro and Ria are close, to which Chihiro swiftly denies any such closeness. Before Wonko departs, she pops into Chihiro's room to borrow something befitting a zombie enthusiast. Now, this is where things take an unexpected turn. As Wonko contemplates which Dave, yes, you heard that right, to borrow, she stumbles upon a strand of hair. Out of the blue, Ria pounces on top of her with the grace of a startled cat, and Wonko lets out a scream that could only rival a banshee. Chihiro, hearing the commotion, dashes to the scene. Without missing a beat, Ria locks eyes with him and plants a smooch on his lips faster than you can say zombie romance. In utter confusion, Wonko unleashes a tirade of questions and accusations in Chihiro's direction, blaming him for the bizarre turn of events. She proceeds to dole out some unique punishments as if channeling her inner superhero. Just when things couldn't get any weirder, Ria casually climbs out of the window to chase after Babu. No big deal, right? Out in the open, Ria happily munches on hydrangea leaves alongside Babu, utterly oblivious to the peculiarity of it all. Suddenly, she snaps back to reality, realizing she's outside wearing nothing but a bathrobe. Just then, Wonko, accompanied by a clinging grandpa, arrives on the scene. Clueless Chihiro, always in the dark, is informed that Ria needs moderate exercise, a low temperature, and frequent hydrangea poison to keep her wits about her. And oh, there's a small caveat. The resurrection pill isn't perfect, so she's bound to start decomposing eventually. Before Grandpa can spill the beans about a potential solution, Wonko knocks him out cold. The poor guy, now suffering from memory loss, probably won't even remember his name. Regardless, Chihiro proposes letting Ria stay at the temple. Surprisingly, his dad gives the green light, believing it to be a safe haven for her. With Ria now officially part of the temple's guest list, Chihiro starts a diary to chronicle every bizarre discovery about her. Meanwhile, Ria is still flustered from her earlier lip-locking incident, which she has zero recollection of, and notices subtle changes in herself. After a hearty dinner, Wonko swings by with some clothes for Ria, promising to buy more in the near future. At the stroke of midnight, the two embark on a moonlit stroll, with Chihiro diligently recording every detail about Ria's condition. Little do they know that the ever-enthusiastic Dan Ichiro is tailing them like a shadow. Later, at a tranquil park, Ria musters the courage to express her gratitude to Chihiro for liberating her from her previous constraints and allowing her a taste of a better life. She earnestly requests Chihiro to treat her body with care, to which he wholeheartedly agrees. As they head home, an almost collision with a speeding car turns into a heart-pounding moment of suspense. But fear not, Furuya's newfound zombie strength comes to the rescue in the most unexpected ways. If you're still here by now, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's if you haven't done so already. We'll see you in the next video.